Thanks everybody for logging online tonight, and if you're listening to this recording, congratulations on just starting a new business. The idea tonight, we're going to focus on really step number one, which is the first actions you really want to look at to make sure you get your business off to the right start. If you've been in business for a little while already and you need to restart your business, well, this is going to help you as well. Certainly Max International is getting some attention, and some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight will be specific to Max International. But some of the things we're talking about are really just protocols that work throughout the industry. And some of the things I want to talk about to begin with is, first of all, is the mindset in which you're approaching your business. A lot of people say, listen, I'm going to join this company, or I joined that company, or I've joined 3 other companies before and it didn't work. And part of the reason why sometimes people don't have the success they want when they join a network marketing company is because they're not really approaching that business with a business mindset. And first thing I want you to think about is that you've actually started a business. Now, if you started a traditional business, you paid out $500,000 for a franchise on the corner store, you certainly wouldn't be embarrassed about telling your friends you've started a business. In fact, you'd be proud of it. You'd invite them to come down and check it out. Whether you sold lawnmowers or Kentucky Fried Chicken, you wouldn't care. You'd be proud of it, and you would announce that to the world. And that's the attitude we need to approach this business with. And there's some key things that really flow throughout leaders within the industry, which really don't matter what their personality is and which company they're with. All of these 3 characteristics I'm going to talk about are things that you can really decide to have if you approach your business with a business mentality. And that is, number 1, a burning desire. This is a business which is your business. You're not an employee. No one's going to tell you what you have to do. No one's going to call you up and say, did you make your phone calls? Did you do something for your business today? So you can really hide in the background if you want to. So really, unless you're nailed in and you're focused, laser focused on why you're doing this business, and you have that burning desire that really makes you do some things over and above when you finish work for the day, it's really not going to happen for you. So you need to be in tune with that, and that needs to be a reason why you are building this business. The second thing comes with that, and that is a willingness to work. I've found, as I've observed leaders throughout the industry, they are all people who are not afraid of hard work. They're not coming into the business with a lottery mentality, and they're also not afraid, and part of working is putting aside the time to learn the business. You know, a lot of people start a network marketing business, think, oh yeah, I think I know 4 or 5 people who might be interested in this. And then depending on what those 4 or 5 people say, they just decide, oh no, I'm all too busy, no one's interested. Well, that's ridiculous. The reason you started the business is still the reason you started the business. And you know what? The rest of the world still hasn't heard about this, and you can take it to them. Number 3 is people who are successful in this industry are all people who start out and remain coachable. Okay, now a lot of people come in and they do bring in certain skills and talents and backgrounds. But you know what? Some of those can be applied to this industry and this business, and some of them cannot. And the best way to really shortcut your success and fast track your way through the ranks is to be open to changing maybe the way you think things should be done, and listening to people who have actually done it and had the success before. So we're going to focus on some of those key things tonight. And what I do when I personally introduce someone to the business, I let them know up front what my expectations are, which is number 1, what I expect from them, and number 2, what they can then expect back from me. And I think people like that. They need to know, well, what am I getting into here, and really what do I need to commit to make this business work? Now, the first thing I say is, listen, you need to commit to these 5 things. You need to, number 1, enroll and buy product. You know, unless you've got product to get out into the market, you can't build this business, and don't kid yourself thinking you can do it any other way. And really, until someone invests in their business, why would I invest my time in them? And this is not just appropriate for you guys personally, but it's important as you start to introduce people to your business, because a lot of people want you to do this for them and that for them and this for them before they're even prepared to do something for themselves. So you need to realize that your time is worth money. And quite frankly, most people couldn't afford my time if they had to pay for it. So I need to think about, well, what are you doing and what are you showing me that says that I should invest my time teaching you how to build this business? So the first step is people need to enroll and buy product. Okay, the second thing they need to do is they need to set up AutoShip. AutoShip, if you're new, that's an ongoing monthly order. You set it in place, the company's going to bill your credit card, send out product. It needs to be at least 100 CV. That's the minimum criteria of product purchase for yourself to use every month, and also to qualify you to get paid for your ongoing commissions. Again, why would you invest your time working with somebody who's not even qualified to earn a check if you go and help them build their business? Doesn't make any sense. Number 3 is you need to write your list. If you don't have a database of people who know you, like you, and trust you that you can take this information to, you're not ready to get started, and I'm not ready to work with you. Number 4, you need to get 3-way calling and learn how to use it. Now, you'll understand why that's very important as we get further into this training, but until you can connect your prospects to me, I can't help you in talking to them. And number 5 is you need to book an online launch in the next 7 to 10 days. So if you've just got your business started, we need to look at locking in a specific time and a specific night to help you do an online launch. That's where we'll do a private online presentation for your guests to help you to launch your business. And to talk more about the online launch, I'm going to hand back over to Michael to give you a few tips on that. So Michael, over to you.
Yeah, with the blasting or kicking off your business, I think it's a critical point. You know, in my experience in this industry, I see a lot of people sort of trickle away at, you know, one person a week they talk to and wonder why they never actually get anyone joining their business. And, you know, you can see 2 people, one do a blast, 24 names in 7 days, another one do 24 names in, 24 years, and they don't tend to get a result. Why is that? And if you really want to know this is the magic about a blast. And that is, if you're contacting 24 people that you have influence with, you've got a higher level of trust with people who know you, like you, and trust you, you're going to get a better result than going out to the cold market or anybody who doesn't know you. But the key about the blasting is if you're going and speaking to 24 people very quickly, you actually form something that I call detachment. And detachment is, I don't need you, and because I don't need you, I will attract you. Because you create a passion and an explosive, the train is leaving the station with or without you mentality, and that vacuum of detachment will actually attract people. And this is the key a lot of people don't know. They think, well, I'll still get there, I'll do 24 in the next 24 weeks. You won't get the result. You just won't, because you won't be passionate, you won't be excited, and you won't attract people as a result. So in terms of your kickoffs or your launch events, be aware that Marcus and we had a bit of a chat, and we are personally choosing to select one particular time for the launch events that we're running for people in the group. Check with your silver member and above, because no doubt they're running launch events as well. And I'm sure there'll be launch events happening all the time at the moment. So of course you've got the weekly webcast as well. But when someone gets started, really important to try and get them into their own launch event. Why is that? Well, with a launch event, there's focus. There's a date to work towards, and you have 7 days to blast those 24 names, and it's all over and done with in that period. You know, I've seen a lot of people in previous network marketing companies that used to say consider it like a marathon. Just keep jogging, just keep jogging. You know what? That's just designed to keep you in those businesses forever without getting a result. Here, we say it's a series of short sprints. So for me, as a very busy person in the corporate world, having a launch was great because I could go blast, get a whole heap of people past the presentation, and then move on. And if I was busy, I could go back to what else I had to do. So again, if that makes sense, and you understand it's smarter to do it fast and quick in little short sprints, type in yes. So who are we looking for? I'm going to hand you back to Marcus to talk about.
Okay, so you're going to do a blast. You're going to try and get this information and this presentation in front of 20, 30 people as quickly as you can. Now, the important thing to think is, well, who are you really looking for? Who do you want to get this information in front of? Do you want to get it in front of your next door neighbor, or the person who's a gym junkie, or the person who's sick? Well, all those answers might be true, but you know what? My mentality when I started this business is that I didn't start it up to be a chicken shop down the corner and selling chickens for the rest of my life. I started up the business that, the mentality that I'm starting a franchise, and I'm looking for people who want to buy a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise, not just sit there and sell the chooks all day myself, because I don't want a job, I don't want a traditional business, I want leverage, I want freedom, and the only way to do it is that you need to find some business partners. So if you know that up front, that's the attitude, and that's what you want to go out looking for. So if you're looking for business partners, well, how do they look? Well, first of all, they're going to look like people that you like. If you like someone, the odds are they're going to like you. You're going to have some things in common, and if you like this business, guess what? They might like it too. You're going to look for people that you want to work with. If someone says yes to joining you in Max, well, then you've got a responsibility to have an ongoing relationship with them. And if you can't stand them, don't put their business in front of them, because they'll drive you nuts. Look for people who have influence and credibility with people around them. This business is primarily about influence. And it doesn't mean if you have influence with somebody that they're going to buy the product and they're going to join the business. But if you have influence, they will look at what you're doing, and they will look at it with a serious set of eyes. And you know what? If you get this information in front of people, guess what? They're going to join. You want to look for people who are successful and driven. They're people who have characteristics that they've already shown to you and shown to the world that they're prepared to do more to get more. Quite often, most people don't approach successful and busy people because they think, well, they're already successful, they're already busy. Well, hello, they're telling you that they want success, they recognize opportunities, they work hard, and they're positive people. So they're the people you want to approach, the people who don't need it but probably like it. You want to approach people who are good with people. You know, if someone's a people person, guess what? In this business, we don't deal with products, we deal with people. We are certainly going to do well if we keep our ears out. And when I say ears, we don't keep our eye out, we keep our ear out for people who are talking about they're in a process of transition. They're looking for a change. They're not really satisfied with where they're at in life for whatever reason. Maybe they're just looking for a new challenge. You've got certain people in life who have access to networks. And I don't just mean people who have a current network marketing business. I'm talking about people who are a real hub or a sphere of influence within an existing organization. If you know someone who's very well respected within a sporting club, whether it's a football club or a surf club or a netball club, you know, or a golf, anything like that, whether it's someone who's a certain profile person within a church or a school, they are existing networks of people who have a common interest and they know each other. You can approach people like that. You don't have to come to them and say, oh, guess what? If you join, you can get the whole school or the whole church. No, you don't say that. They already know who they know. You don't have to tell them that. You approach them as an individual so they can see what's in it for them, and you can say, I want to show this to you, but of course you know in the back of your mind if they get involved, they have access and influence with a network, an existing network of people. You know, I look for people who have are already involved in network marketing, or maybe they've tried network marketing before, and, you know, if they had a bad experience, so what? You know, a lot of people have had bad experiences in relationships, but it doesn't mean they never want to have a partner in life. It just means, hey, they haven't found the right one yet, and they haven't actually maybe learned some lessons in what they're looking for. Those people have already said, whether they've tried it or whether they're in it, they've already proven that, you know what, they saw something. They saw something that network marketing could offer them that they wanted and they don't have right now, and there's probably no other way to get it because there's not many ways to get freedom in life. You know, look for people who also like to help others. Quite often we go by the person who's maybe run their race, quite often maybe an older person who they've had a great career, they're in retirement, and you go, well, you know, they're not going to want to set the world on fire, they don't want to work hard. Rubbish. These people are thinking for and looking for a reason to live and for a reason to contribute, and they've got kids and grandkids they want to help. You know, nothing makes people feel better when they get past the point of what they need to do and what they want. And, you know, when you're coming towards your launch, let me just tell you that I'm going to hit the top 10 tips for a network marketing business for you when you're talking about doing a launch. And this has been based on years of experience, but also what we've been seeing very recently with people who have done some things good and some people who have done some things not so good for their launch, because, you know, sometimes we win and sometimes we learn. So this is a chance to learn from everybody's experience. Number one, a lot of people say, well, what days and times can I book an online launch? Well, you want to check with your upline person who's able to run launch events, your upline silver or gold member. But again, Michael mentioned before, for myself, I've decided I'm going to put one night a week, which is Monday night, where I can help people do an online launch. But again, check with the person who's upline to you, because there's going to be more people than just Michael and I who are able to do these for people. The next question is, well, how many people should I invite? Well, you should invite as many as you can. I mean, the room seats over 100 people, and I don't think many people are going to max it out. So, you know, the reality is the more you invite, the more will come and look, and the more will join your business. But as a rough number, I'm going to say, like Michael said, you do the 24/7 blast. You pick your top 24 contacts. You contact them within 7 days, and you invite them to see your presentation. Now, the next question is, well, shouldn't I wait for my products to arrive before I book my online launch? Well, no, you shouldn't wait for your products to arrive, because your products arriving has nothing to do with people getting information, right? Because for people to join the business, they need to evaluate the information. Yes, some of them will need to evaluate the product also if that's their personality, but it doesn't have to go in any particular order. So whilst you're waiting for the product to arrive, you book your launch, people come online, they see a presentation. A lot of them will want to join without even trying the product, because that's how a lot of people are. The ones who want to try the product, you can say, well, great, now you've seen the presentation, I'll get product to you. Okay. Now that rolls into point number 4. Is, some people are of the opinion where they say, well, people I talk to, they want to try the products first. Now, there's a few ways of looking at this. Sometimes people actually say that because that's their personality. They're a person who wanted to try the product, so they assume everybody else in the world is like them, and all of their people they know are going to want to try the products. Well, that's not true. Some people will see the presentation and dive right in. So don't slow those people down just because you do business in a different way. Now, the second thing is that in my mind, no one's even qualified to get free product from me until they've actually done something themselves. They've showed some commitment. So for me, I'm saying, hey, once you've seen the presentation, then I'll get a sample of product to you. Okay, so until someone's seen a presentation and demonstrated that commitment, why are you going to send them a product that you've invested your hard-earned money in? Because that's a requirement for me. Until you've seen the presentation, you don't qualify for product. I don't care how excited you say you are, because guess what? Not everyone does what they say they're going to do. It's an unfortunate part of life. Now, tip number 5. Should I remind people to log into the presentation? Right? Because what happens, you go out and you invite all these people and they say, yeah, I'll be there. And you get to the night and guess what? Not everybody's there. Hello? So, yes, you should remind people. Everyone's got busy lives, and at this point in time, your business and Max is not as important to them as it is to you, because they don't even know what it is yet. So, yes, you should remind them. Ideally, give them a quick phone call or send them a text message the very day of the presentation, okay? You can send them a quick text message. Hey, just reminding you the presentation for the launch of my business is on tonight. Can you just send me a quick message to let me know you'll be there? And if for whatever reason you can't be there, we'll need to schedule another time so you can see it. Okay, so that way you're not just sitting there and people just, most of the time people don't turn up just because they forget. They got caught up in their day. It wasn't because they weren't interested. Tip number 6. People say, well, do I arrange a 3-way phone call with those people that call me after the presentation? And I can tell you this is the biggest place we've been falling down, and we can all do a much better job of. We're going to talk more about it as we get further, but no, you shouldn't do the presentation and then just sit there looking at your telephone waiting for it to ring. This is your business, not their business, so you need to be proactive. And the first thing you do is you let people know before they've even seen the presentation. Say, hey, after you see the presentation, the odds are you're going to have some questions. So I'm going to call you after the presentation and I will introduce you to someone who can answer any questions you have while they're fresh in your mind. So you set up a specific time to call the person. Now, of course, you can't call 8 people all at once. So you might schedule 2 or 3 of them for straight after the presentation, the people who you think would probably be the most likely candidates. And the others, you schedule a time in the next 24 hours. You say, well, I'll call you tomorrow. When's a good time? And you schedule a specific time. Okay, I'll call you at 2 o'clock, because that allows you to get one of your upline business partners available. They'll have that time specifically locked in their diary and in their calendar. So they are expecting that call from you, and they'll be talking to your friend. So you tee that up in advance, all right? If for whatever reason you've got people logged in that you haven't done that, just pick up the phone and call them straight after the presentation and say, hey, I wanted to get your feedback, and I'm sure you've got a few questions, so hang on, I've got Michael on the other line. Let me introduce you, and because we'd love to get your feedback and answer any questions you've got. This is so important. The fortune is in the follow-up. So many people drop the ball 1 inch from the ring because they do all the hard work of going and getting the ball, running down the end of the court. They even jump up in the air, and just before the slam dunk, they drop the ball because they don't follow up with people. These people are interested, they're excited, they're in the moment, and you just let them disappear off into nowhere land and into their life again, and you're sitting there thinking, nah, they weren't interested. Rubbish. You just didn't call them. Number 7, send people direct to a new website I've just put up for you guys called onlinelaunch.info. That's what you invite them to log into the presentation. Number 8 is, well, how do you invite them? And when I say how, I'm not saying what words do you use. How do you invite them means what? Do I give them a phone call? Do I send them an email? Do I send out a text message? Do I send them a message on Facebook? Do I plaster it all over the wall on Facebook? There is only one way to invite people. And I don't care. There is only one way to invite people that's effective, and there's only one way I'll ever teach, even face-to-face. All right? The one way that you invite people is by phone. You can connect with people via email, text, Facebook, face-to-face, but the invitation for the online launch is done on the phone, and we'll cover more of that in a minute. Okay, so just for now, you'd invite people via phone. Now, people ask, well, what if I've only got their email, or I can't reach them on the phone? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do in that case in a second. The final tip is, number 10 is don't ramble. If you're ringing somebody up, don't talk for 15 minutes about the kids and how's work and how's the weather and then tack it on the end. That is the tackiest thing you can do. People see straight through it. You just wasted their time. They know exactly why you called when you bring up, hey, I've started a new business. Everything you've just asked about the kids is all invalidated as you weren't interested. You were just trying to get around to it. Don't ramble. Get straight to the point. Tell them it's a business call. There's something important you need to talk to them about, and then use the tools. Don't try and do the presentation on the approach. Your job is to invite them to see the presentation. We're going to give you some specific words to use on how to do that. So they're the top 10 tips to get the best out of your online launch. Now, if you don't have someone's phone number, or if you've been trying to call them and you can't reach them, and if you are in a position where you have to send a text message, an email, or a Facebook message, this is exactly what you write in that email and Facebook. You do not write anything else. All right? This is what you write. This is what I write. Hi, Fred. There's something important I need to talk to you about. What's the best time and number to call you on? That's it. If I see email invitations going out and text messages and physical invitations and Facebook messages, there's going to be some trouble because it means you didn't hit number 3, which was the start of this presentation, which was be coachable. We know what works. We know what doesn't work, and we know what annoys people. So we just want to do what works. Now, just let them know there's something important I need to talk to you about. What's the best time and number to call you on? That's it. And then you do the phone invitation, which is what we're going to talk about. So, Michael Firth, I'm going to hand over to you. You're one of the best people at inviting people, keeping it short, sharp, and simple. You're a busy guy, so you have to do it this way, and it absolutely works. So I'm going to hand over to you to talk a little bit about this.
Thank you, and doing an awesome job of this presentation, I might say. So guys, yeah, in terms of making a phone call, I'm a massive believer in scripts, because scripts I think are fantastic to get people on track and make sure that they know what they're going to say, because you know what, if your brain switches off, if you've got written in front of you, you'll know what to say, because you can still read, okay, if you're like a rabbit in the headlights. Having said that, I do not believe in having a written script that has not been read and then just getting on the phone and saying, hi Marcus, this is Michael Firth, how are you today? Right? That doesn't work. So you want to know how scripts work? Scripts work really well when you get one. You get a general idea from somebody who's educated in the business, done really well, i.e. Marcus, me, lots of other leaders. You take those ideas and then you personalize them for you. So if I say, g'day Marcus, how you doing? If you don't like the word g'day, take it out. Put in hello. Put in good morning. Put in whatever's your personality, okay? But once you've done that, personalize it. Highlight just a few key words, read it out loud and walk around the room. You know, Angelina Jolie, God bless her, when she goes on the movie, she doesn't bring her script out with her, does she? No, she's already read it that many times, it's embedded in her brain. So read it out loud around your house, and then you become really proficient in it. Now, I'm going to play for you a recording that I did this afternoon. I picked up my recorder and just literally, off the top of my head, said what I would say if I was approaching somebody. It's a pretend phone call. You'll hear the phone ring. It's just a pretend ring, so you know it's a phone call. And I'm going to play it to you. Have a listen to it, and then I'm going to pull it apart and give you a little bit more of an understanding on how that works. Hi, is that Fred? Oh, g'day Fred, Michael Firth here. How you doing? Excellent, excellent, mate. Reason for the phone call, just wanted to check with you. Are you home on Wednesday night, and can you be in front of your computer about 8 o'clock? Yeah? Great, fantastic. What's it about? Well, essentially I'm launching a brand new business on Wednesday night online, and I want you to be one of the first people to check it out. Now, I can't promise it's for you, but certainly I reckon you're going to be pretty impressed. Yeah, what's it about? Well, essentially we're launching a brand new nutritional product here into Australia, and I've been lucky enough to hear about it before a lot of other people, so you'll get to see it firsthand. Now, I'm happy to give you a sample of the product, and you can try it for yourself. People are just raving about the results they're getting pretty much straight away. But if I do give you a sample, I need you to promise me you'll do 3 things, yeah? 1, you'll have to check out a quick video now and we'll have a chat, and you can tell me where your interest level lies there. 2, I'll give you the product, but the second part is you'll watch the webcast that we're doing on Wednesday night from home, and that'll obviously, fill in a lot of the blanks. And then after that, you've probably got some questions, so we'll actually introduce you to a friend of mine who's already earning quite a lot of money out of it, and get them to answer the questions for you. So you got a pen handy? Excellent. Just write this down. www.firstpreview.info. Okay. Check that out. Now, when can you get a chance to check that out? After lunch? Okay, cool. How about I give you a call back at about 2:30, and we'll just confirm, that you've watched it, and also confirm you 100% for Wednesday night. Excellent. All right, buddy. Chat to you then. All right. Now, it's interesting. There's a few things I want to pull out of that call. Now, I walked around the house. A couple of things I want to tell you about making phone calls. Stand up. Stand up and walk around. You totally change the way you come across if you stand up. So stand up and walk around. That's what I did when I recorded that. There was no real Fred on the other end. It was just pretend. But the other one was, and you want to write this down, in addition to stand up, the next one is clear the night first. I did not talk about anything until I said, hey, Fred, are you free on Wednesday night? Can you be in front of your computer? I see a lot of people stuff this up. They go, hi, Fred, how you doing? Listen, I've got a new business I want you to look at, and it's really good, and it's this and that, and blah, 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 blah. Are you free on Wednesday? No. You just first, number 1, are you free Wednesday night? Can you be in front of your computer? Yes. Great. Why? Maybe. I don't know why. So it opens up the conversation. The next one was, I set an agreement. See how I said, I'm happy to give you a product as long as you are willing to do a couple of things first. Okay, now, if he said, no, I'm not willing to do that, he's not getting the product. Simple as that. I'm not throwing $50 notes, or what is it now, $30 notes out there to people unless they're going to play the game my way. You have posture when you actually say only if you will agree to do a couple of things. Okay? And the last one is, and you may not have realized this, I seeded the 3-way call. What do I mean by seeding? I seeded it, meaning that I said in the hello phone call when I was getting him online that at the end, once he's reviewed that webcast, I'll introduce him to a mate of mine who can answer some questions. Now, I didn't say, we'll have a 3-way call, because that's weird. What the hell's a 3-way call? Especially 3-way these days. People can get the wrong idea. So I said, I'll just introduce you to a mate of mine who's doing quite well, and we'll have a bit of a phone conversation then. So I seed it at hello, because if you wait for the 3-way call till we get to after the webcast, then it's like, I'm going to bring in the big guys, they're going to twist your arms, which is not what a 3-way call is all about. So guys, I hope those tips and that recording was handy. Okay, I'm going to hand you back to Marcus.
Okay, great. Thanks, Michael. Now, it's interesting. I actually put together a little bit of scripting, or a simple script that I'm going to roll out for you to see now. And the interesting thing was that Michael and I did he did his little recording independent of each other. And we've come up with something quite similar, but it's a little bit different. And so I'll roll out basically... this is just one example of what you could say. I mean, because for me, I'm like Michael, I work off the top of my head. I've got different word tracks that I use. But it was along the lines of, hey, Fred, are you able to be in front of your computer next Wednesday night at 8 o'clock? And then the next thing is I put WFR. That means wait for a response. Okay, so you've asked him a question. You've got to wait for the response. And he's going to say, yeah, I think so. Why is that? So he's asked why. And I've said, well, I've started a business and I thought you might find it really interesting. I'm not sure if it's for you, but I thought you might be open to having a look. All right, and then I'll wait again. So I'm going to wait for a response, and the odds are he's going to say, well, what is it? And most people dread when people say, what is it? But I don't dread it, because I want them to be thinking, well, what is it? They're leaning forward. They're mentally going, what is it? And I say, yeah, well, it's with a company called Max. We've got a breakthrough health and nutrition product, and I've actually got a sample here for you to try. And if you like, what I'll do is I'll shoot you an email with a website to have a look at before Wednesday night. Is that okay? That's it. That's the entire invitation right there. And it's really rolled out as a conversation, because I know that at the end of each of those points, and I stop, generally people ask questions. They're going to ask, well, okay, why, what's it all about? And so we already know how to respond to that. I've told him what it is. It's a company called Max. I've told him it's about health and nutrition. And really, I've just cleared the night like Michael did. Now, there's one key difference that I've done in this invitation than, I guess, how Michael's rolled out his invitation. Neither way is right or wrong. They're different. What I've done is I've invited directly people to step 2. Okay, so I've invited them to Wednesday night, and I've used the email as a fallback. In other words, I'm going to send them an email to the actual website, because I know they're going to ask, what is it? And I can deflect any questions or any detail to the website. And I know Michael would do that as well if that came up in the conversation he was having, because if people start asking too much questions, you say, well, no problem, I'm going to shoot you a link. There's a couple of videos online. You can actually view that before Wednesday night. It won't be enough for you to make some decisions, but it will answer a few questions and give you a bit of a taste for the presentation. So, Michael, do you want to add anything on that just before we move on?
I was just going to say what Marcus did there. It was great. The two scripts are slightly different, but we're getting the same end result. And one thing common about both of these that I really want to say that's important for you guys: your expectation influences the outcome. Now, there's some people who get on the phone and it'll be the same words, but it'll be like more apologetic. So, oh, hey, Fred, are you okay? Are you able to be in front of your computer on Wednesday night? Maybe, hopefully. No? Oh, okay. Versus, I'm expecting, hey, you got to have a look at this. This is awesome. So people who use the words, I was hoping you might be interested versus, hey, you got to check this out. It's different. So a little bit like a bulldozer in some respects might sound like it, but people who have a positive expectation get more yeses. Period. Full stop. So get your head right and know what you have in your hands. I'll hand you back to Marcus.
So you've got the invitation script. There's a few others that we can get out there, but the idea is that you're inviting people to a specific time to see your business, and that's really what it is. It's an invitation, not a presentation. So when you look at the invitation, the goal really of doing your online launch is to become a senior associate. So you do your launch, you get as many people as you can onto that presentation. And the goal is to personally enroll one associate on each team, because that's what puts you in a position to earn commissions. So you get started, you've got your 100 CV order, which is your minimum order, and the goal is to get one on your left and one on the right who do the same thing. Now, I've put 100 CV in there, but the reality is with the product packages that we have, if someone comes in with a half pack, well, that's 400 CV, and then someone maybe comes in on the other team with a business builder pack, well, that's 700 CV. So you can pretty quickly roll through the ranks if you're getting people started from your launch with 400 and 700 CV from those packs coming in. A few more $1 million tips. First one is educate people. Don't sell and don't convince. All right. If you would find yourself trying to sell people on the idea or sell them on the business, sell them on the product, you're doing the presentation and you're trying to convince them and you're trying to talk them into the business, and guess what? You're going to have to talk them into buying product every month and talk them into going to the trainings and talk them into going to the events. Don't do that. Just get people in front of the information. They can educate themselves and then make an educated decision. The biggest tip that I learned that made a huge difference to my business was separate the invitation from the presentation. They are two separate things. The phone call is to invite people to look at the business. The webcast and the online launch is the presentation. If you're talking about product and matching check bonuses and glutathione and all this different stuff, you're doing the presentation. That's not your job. Your job is to do the invitation. The next one is that, listen, there is many ways to connect with people, but there is only one way to invite people to look at the business. Okay? And what I mean by connecting with people is whether you met someone on an airplane, whether you met them online on Facebook, whether you're connecting with somebody that you used to go to school with. You can connect with people a ton of different ways, and they're all great. And whether you're buying leads, that's still a way to connect with somebody. But there's only one way to invite them, and that is via the phone. Again, use the tools. Don't be a tool. Don't take shortcuts. All right? Shortcuts are you send out 100 emails. Shortcuts are that you send an email with all the different presentation and all the different links on there. They do not work, and you know what? You're just wasting your time. You might as well not even try. Work your warm market first. This business works. The reason network marketing works is because of relationships. People who know you, like you, and trust you. You know, I was talking to a guy online, and, you know, what he said, you know, was something that a lot of people think and feel, and it's a common thing for people to think. He said, you know, I can't wait till I get past my friends and family because I know they're not going to be interested, and they think it's a pyramid scam, and they think it doesn't work, and rah, rah, rah. I say, you know what? You might be right, but the reality is our job is the number one to educate these people, because at the moment they're giving you feedback which has no education, no information at all. So our job is not to say that they should do it or shouldn't do it. Our job is to say, listen, because you know me, I'm saying to you that I think you'll find this interesting. Check it out, and then you can make whatever decisions are the right one for you. But I said, you know, the interesting thing is that if any one of those people you just spoke about joined Max before you did, they would have probably said exactly the same thing about you. They would have looked at you on their list and said, oh, you wouldn't have been interested in this. You'd probably think it's a pyramid scam. You'd probably think it doesn't work. And guess what? They would have been wrong. You don't know what these people think until you put them in front of the information and then let them make up their own mind. Another $1 million tip is do not be stingy with product. Number one, buy it, invest in your business, and then get it out the door. It's not going to make you any money and sitting in the cupboard. Get it out the door, get it into people's hands, qualify those people like Michael said, and I tell you what, that product will work its butt off for you. The product will never let you down. So basically our job is to fill the funnel. Get people listening to the information line. Get them onto First Preview. Have them listen to a CD or a DVD. Then they'll be coming online to see a webcast, a presentation, whether it's a live launch, whether it's a Tuesday night webcast or a face-to-face meeting. Step 2 is the presentation. Step 3 is a 3-way phone call. We'll connect them to your upline if it's a physical event. And coming out of that 3-way phone call, like Michael said, the 3-way phone call isn't to close people. It's not to use sales techniques and manipulate them and close them and have high-pressure sales tactics. We don't do that. That's not what it's for. It's to get their questions answered in an accurate way, and it's also to show them that the process we have to build our business is duplicatable. If you call them and you answer all their questions, even if you do a brilliant job, guess what? You just nailed your feet to the floor because you showed them that they need to know all the answers to all the questions before they can do the business. You showed them a process that they probably can't do, they probably don't want to do, and even if they do, it's going to take a long time for them to get their skills up and they can do the same thing. The critical important thing for success in this business is showing people a process that they can do from day one and they believe they can do from day one. They turn around and say, oh, I don't think I can do it, and say, hey, remember how I called you up and said go and check out a website? Do you think you could send your friend to see a website? Well, yes. And remember after that, I just invited you to see a presentation online. Do you think you can invite your friend who wants more information to see more? Oh, well, yes. And remember after that, I introduced you to a friend of mine who could answer your questions. Do you think you could take someone who looked at a presentation and introduce them to someone to answer their question? Yes. Bingo. Yes, yes, yes. Now they believe they can do the business because you showed them the way. You didn't tell them the way. You showed them the way. Coming out of the 3-way call, any number of things might happen, and it's up to them. They might be ready to join and get started, so we'd discuss the options, and they'd get started however they wanted to get started. They might want to come to a physical meeting. If they want more information, we send them to extramaxinfo.com, and some people want to try the product, so because they've seen a presentation, now they qualify. So then we send them out the product to use as the final step in them evaluating the business, and guess what? Most times by that time, it's just a matter of time. They'll join the business. So just to close out the training, I'm here to tell you that guess what? People right now are sitting at home waiting for you to call them. Seriously, so many people want your product. So many people right now want your business. So get calling. They are sitting there. You don't need to go and create a story The demand for our product is already there. It's a fast approaching trillion-dollar industry. There are people in agony right now with health challenges that they don't have answers to. There are people just dragging themselves through the day because they don't have the energy to get through the day. There are people who will toss and turn tonight because they can't sleep properly because something's not right in their body, and this product can help them. They are waiting for your call. There are people who will lay awake at night tonight because they've got financial challenges that they don't have answers to. They are going to jobs that they hate. They are sitting in traffic that they hate. They're working for people they don't want to work with. They're getting a paycheck every week that they look at and say, this isn't enough and I don't know how to change this situation. Some people, yes, are not going to be welcoming to your phone call, but so what? That doesn't worry me because there are so many people whose lives will be changed because you called them and you put this in front of them. So get calling, feel proud of what you're doing, and you know what? Those people who don't want to evaluate the information, move on because there are people waiting for your phone call. Thanks for investing the time in your business. I feel proud of you guys being part of this company because you know what? We are going to change people's lives in so many ways, and that's something to be proud of. This is far bigger than you. It's far bigger than me. It's bigger than the product, and it's bigger than the comp plan. This is about making a difference that when we leave this planet, we leave it a better place because we affected people's lives, and that ripple effect will move on for not just past your lifetime, but generations and generations to come. Thanks, everyone. Michael, great job. And guess what? Let's get into it.